is, number one, they're massive, and they can really only be seen probably from the start. There are over 800 straight lines. There are over 70 animal figures. There are over 150 geometrical shapes. We have glyphs of different figurines on the ground. We have these intricate lines and what appear to be runways spread all around the desert. Some of these actually show mathematical diagrams built thousands of years ago, which really raises the question, why?
There's an enormous amount of unanswered and perhaps unanswerable questions that arise from the phenomenon. Your mental health is better, but having uncontrollable body movements called TD, tardive dyskinesia, can feel embarrassing. I asked my doctor about treating my TD with Ingrezza. Number 1 prescribed Ingrezza reduced TD movements by greater than 10 times, with most seeing a response as early as 2 weeks. And you can keep taking those mental health meds.
Ingrezza can cause depression, suicidal thoughts, or actions in patients with Huntington's disease. Call your doctor if you become depressed, have sudden behavior, mood changes, or suicidal thoughts. Don't take Ingrezza if allergic. Serious side effects may include allergic reactions like sudden, potentially fatal swelling in eyes, sleepiness, the most common side effect, and heart rhythm problems. Know how Ingrezza affects you before operating the car or dangerous machinery. Report fever, stiff muscles, or problems thinking, as these might be life-threatening. Shaking, stiffness, drooling, and trouble moving or balance may occur.
Taking control starts with asking your doctor about Ingrezza.
The largest of the figures is nearly 1,000 feet, or the size of 3 football fields. While the longest line extends almost 9 miles. According to mainstream archaeologists, these mysterious earth drawings were created by the Nazca, an ancient people that flourished in the region between the 1st and 8th century AD. The lines were formed by the careful removal of the reddish iron oxide pebbles that make up the desert surface. Once exposed, the underlying dirt, which contains high amounts of lime, hardened and was resistant to erosion.
The Nazca Plain is made up of layers of light-coloured kind of rock and dark-coloured rock and just on top. It's very simple and easy to remove dark-coloured stuff to reveal these kind of white-looking lines over the landscape. When the canvas that isn't being disturbed has maintained its integrity for hundreds or even thousands of years.
The reason why they have survived is because of the desert conditions. Truly, if you make a geoglyph at the Nazca desert environment today, it will be found hundreds of years from now. There is hardly any rain, hardly any wind. Anything you make here will last for eternity.
Teotihuacan, Mexico. Dating back to at least the 1st century AD, this ancient complex was once the largest city in Mesoamerica, with a population of 125,000. One of the most sacred temples at the site is the Temple of the Feathered Serpent, an enormous step pyramid dedicated to the god Quetzalcoatl.
Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent, goes all the way back to Olmec times, to the BCE period. But the first place that we really see Quetzalcoatl is in Teotihuacan, the city just north of modern Mexico City. They build an actual pyramid, a temple of Quetzalcoatl, right around 250 AD. So it's probably Teotihuacan who really.
What's up, guys? Leonitrous here. We're about to do the work and start a stream. Let's get it.
For the rest of Mesoamerica. Quetzalcoatl was a creator god. He was associated with the planet Venus. He brought the rain, he brought water, he brought civilization, he brought the arts. This was the creator divinity for the Aztec culture. It was a flying serpent, it was a dragon. Quetzalcoatl's full peace, harmony, and high wisdom, and a very high level of intelligence and teaching to this particular land. He was often depicted as a human being as well. They arrived on the raft of serpent, settled on these lands. shows up in the post-classic Maya city of Chichen Itza, but they give him a Maya name. They call it Kukulkan, which is basically the holy feathered serpent in Maya.
The ancient Mayan city of Chichen Itza lies roughly 900 miles east of Teotihuacan, and at its center stands another massive step pyramid. This one dedicated to the Mayan version of the flying serpent, Kukulkan. In Chichen Itza, there we have the pyramid of Kukulkan, and every year on the 23rd of March, you see when the sun is going up, some lights and shadows, like triangles, climbing down the stairway, exactly the stairway where his head is on. And on the 21st of September, you see the opposite, Kukulkan disappears, and it's only made by light and shadow of the natural sun. So still today, the message is clear. But Kukulkan, as descendant of the humans, he teaches them for a short period, and then he disappeared again. So right there we have living mythology in a structure that shows this deity descending from the sky in stone. You wonder if perhaps a craft landed here, and this white shadow effect of a serpent making its way, descending down the staircase, and then emerging through a serpent head is a recollection of that original event. Is it possible that the pyramid of Kukulkan was not built to honor a mythical dragon god, but to commemorate the arrival of an extraterrestrial spacecraft? Ancient astronaut theorists say yes, and suggest this isn't the only dragon-themed structure that marks the location of alien contact. Ancient Greece. The landscape of this small Greek island is spotted with 25 mysterious megalithic structures called dragon houses. The main dragon house is at the very top of one of the tallest mountains on the island called Mount Ohi. Mount Ohi comes from the word ohivare, which means to descend and to drive. And so this is interesting because, according to legend, the reason why the dragon house exists at the top of Mount Ohi is because
Everything on the IHOP value menu is just $6. You can go all out. Because eggs, bacon, and fluffy pancakes are just $6 every day. And OMG, there's a new BLT, and it comes with fries. Celebrate every day for just $6 with the IHOP value menu.
at the Home Depot, we've got Spring Black Friday savings and all your appliance answers.
I want something to simplify my day.
Get a cheesy profile fridge that lends a helping hand and all-in-one laundry and new eye-catching colors. Find your appliance answers now at the Home Depot. Hiring? It doesn't have to be overwhelming. There's a better way. Post jobs for free today.
Make me feel so miserable.
Flonase relieves your worst allergy symptoms, so you can start feeling better the same day. Save your relationship with nature. Flonase.
Good news.
Brings home the wonder of what you were.
So guys,
This actually will be a better year from home. With the approval of Great PG, streaming now only on Peacock. Now, when you put all this together, this sounds like the Dragon House is a meeting place of heaven and earth. In UFO vernacular, that would be a landing spot. In my opinion, the dragon was the craft out of which then the creator people or the teachers emerged. Our ancestors basically they saw clue coming out of the ocean. According to ancient astronaut theorists, some of the structures themselves serve as evidence that this was a place of extraterrestrial contact. The Dragon House on top of Mount 2 feet thick on an altitude of 5,000 feet. How was that done? In my opinion, this was extraterrestrial visitation where Zeus descended in his craft and built a camp. Celestial beings coming down to earth. Gods descending from the sky. These events can be found in the ancient legends of the Zuni. Do similar accounts exist in other cultures and other religions across the world? And if so, what is the explanation? We need to remind ourselves that our ancestors were highly intelligent. However, their technological frame of reference was different than our technological frame of reference. So they didn't have the vocabulary with which to describe or with which to name certain things that they saw. So what did they do? They used words that they were familiar with in their time, and so they tried to describe whatever they witnessed to the best of their abilities with their vocabulary. Ancient China also shared some of the same beliefs that can be found in Egyptian, Native American, and Dogon legends, that deities arrived from the stars. According to Chinese mythology, dating back to 3000 BC, when the god named Wang Di was born, there was a radiance from the great star Qi. Wang Di would later emerge from the belly of a fire-breathing dragon to become China's first emperor. The origins of the Han Chinese people start with a story of a great god looking down with empathy. Here were the people in poverty, in a beautiful, rich country, the landscape profound, but the people were suffering. He took pity and decided to come down. Wang Di arrived on planet Earth in a flying dragon. He had to